As we all know, December is widely considered a time for exchanging gifts. So this year, during Advent, we've been taking a deeper look at the art of regifting. Even though regifting tends to have a reputation as that thing you do when you want to get rid of something, there are times when regifting can be a thoughtful and selfless act, especially when you take the time to be intentional about it. We shouldn't write regifting off altogether because there are some things that are just too good not to share. And that's especially true when it comes to God's gifts. God blesses us in so many ways, some that we recognize easily and others that are more subtle. The people in our lives, the experiences we've had, the resources at our disposal, and of course, the gift of God with us, Jesus Christ. Each gift shapes our lives and inspires gratitude in our hearts. Certainly, praise is an important and appropriate response, but an even better response is to share what God has given you so that more and more people can experience that exact same joy that you have. In the stories we just read, we see it happen again and again. Someone learns about Jesus and immediately goes to tell someone else, to regift that good news, because it's so wonderful that they want to share it. That's actually what the word evangelism means in Greek, to bring or announce good news. So if you think about it, regifting is literally a part of our job description as Christians. Now, over the past 4 weeks, we here at Boone have been digging deeper into how exactly we might do that. We use this box here to symbolize the act of regifting God's gifts to others. And we've been preparing it by wrapping it with the answers to some reflection questions. In case you're curious, the questions were, what is the greatest gift or blessing that God has given you personally? What causes are you passionate about? What needs do you see in the world around you? And how could we, as a community, share God's gifts in ways that address the needs we see around us? And it's still a little naked on some sides, so if you want to add to it, you are more than welcome to. The goal was to get us thinking in concrete terms about what it might look like to regift the things that God has so generously given to us. And I encourage you to keep doing so over the next 12 days of Christmas and even after Christmas is over. Now, up until now, the box has been empty. After all, God's gifts are so varied and often intangible that they're hard to represent with anything that would fit in a box of this size. But it's probably a good idea to pick something, don't you think? Let's see, what is something so good that you'd want to share it with others? Pizza? Maybe birthday cake? It is Jesus' birthday after all. How about Christmas cookies? Maybe I should have had more dinner before the service. No, none of these are quite right. They are amazing things worth sharing, but they're not quite like God's gift. When you regift any of those things to others, you necessarily wind up with less than you started with. If I had 6 slices of pizza and I shared one with you, I'd only have 5 pieces of pizza left, right? In order to share these sorts of things, you have to give something up, which is a wonderful gesture and a really important thing to do sometimes, but it's not quite what God's gifts are like. Oh, wait a minute, I know. This is what God's gifts are like. The flame of a candle. It provides warmth and comfort and light, all things that are especially meaningful in the middle of a cold winter night. or, a damp and chilly winter night, if that's what you have. It's something worth sharing. But unlike pizza or cake, what happens to the light of your candle when you give it to someone else? Nothing. Not a thing. It's still as warm and comforting and bright as it ever was. Not only is it wonderful and worth sharing, but we don't lose anything when we share it. There's a reason that we call Jesus the light of the world. Of course, light gives us the ability to see and illuminate the path in front of us, banishing the night, or at least lessening its power over us. But the light of a candle is also something that can be shared and multiplied almost infinitely. Jesus was not born on this night for us to keep this news and its transformative power to ourselves. Just like all of God's gifts, this one is meant to be passed on in gratitude and joy, lighting each person's candle one by one until the entire world is brilliantly lit up by God's love. That's what God's gifts can do. And that's the task that has been given to us, to regift and regift and regift, not until we have nothing left, but until everyone has been blessed abundantly. That's certainly something worth rejoicing about. Now, I want to end with a quote from St. Nicholas. Yes, that St. Nicholas. The giver of every good and perfect gift has called upon us to mimic his giving by grace through faith. And this is not of ourselves. It's God's grace, which is a gift in and of itself, that empowers us to share with others the things that we've been given. Whenever we resist regifting, we might think that we're being reasonably cautious about preserving our own resources, but in reality, according to St. Nick, what we're actually doing is resisting the gift of God's grace. So do not be afraid. Rejoice. There is enough for everyone. Rejoice and share every single one of God's gifts without fear of want or scarcity. Rejoice, for unto us a child is born. God's abundant love is here, and it's time for us to share it with the world. Amen.